Hello everyone. Today is Saturday. This is the 16th of December, and so it's a couple of days past my birthday, and I have to just show you what all I've been getting. My son spoiled me and got me a beautiful wallet. I had a wallet on my wish list for Christmas, and he gave it to me for my birthday. And it's a wallet that's designed by artists that live in an underprivileged community, and they design a pattern for a sort of a fabric, and they make these wallets out of a fabric that feels a little bit like vinyl, so that it's not using up resources, you know, that have to be regrown. And they sell these patterns in wallets and pocketbooks and day planner holders, you know, things like that for a short season, and then they rotate to another pattern designed by another one of the ladies there, and it's designed to help them have a way to make a living other than being destitute in their underprivileged country. So I was really tickled that he thought enough to do that, to go searching for something like that, and the wallet is absolutely delightful. So anyway, I have that, and then my husband had gone on my 1, 2, 3 stitch, that's my bows, wish list, and he couldn't really pick what he thought would be the best for me, so he just asked if I would like to go on a shopping spree for my birthday and pick what I wanted. And I thought, this is awesome. So that's basically what I was able to do. It was like having a gift card, and I just went shopping. So I want to show you what I got for my birthday. I got some beading needles, and these are very long, but the reason I got them was that the eyes are supposed to be a little bit bigger, and I'm not sure it's going to focus well enough for you to see them, but that's what they're known for, is that they have a little bit bigger eye, longer, so you can get your thread through there a little bit easier, and my old eyes need that, so I have those to try. And then to go with the beading is the thread. Got that Nymo thread in just the white there to try, because I haven't tried that before. And then what I have here are needle holders, and I'm gonna label them based on the size, you know, that I put in there. It'll hold up to 20 needles in each one. It comes with labels, clear labels that you can write on, and the internal magnet holds them. There's a magnet in each little one. It fans them out so you can grab them. Anyway, I got those to try. I have packets of needles in my desk drawer here, and they're just sliding all around, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose them. So this is what I got to store my needles in. And then to finish out that beading thing, I have one tacky bob, but I dropped it at some point, or it fell off my desk, and it's broken, so it doesn't close very well. It's still very usable. I use it all the time when I'm beading, but I have some beading projects coming up, in particular the Snowman Mill Hill kit that I'm going to be working on for my adopted mom, and there's so many different colors of beads in it that I went ahead and picked another tacky bob so that I could put a little bit of every color right where I was working, and I can just bead as I go with that Nymo thread, and hopefully that'll help me to go a little bit quicker. Then I've been watching, as everyone else has, all these wonderful finishes that Vonna and Priscilla and Chelsea are doing, and some of the finishes that, you know, Pam and Stephanie have shown on their channel that their local finishers have done, and I just got inspired to start adding a little bit to my stash for finishing next year. And since I'll be doing ornaments again, hopefully for each year, there's some snowmen with little snowflakes. These are buttons that I intend to use to attach to finished pieces. And Gerald, Ginger Gerald, look here, little gnomes. I've seen people take these and put magnets on the back of them and use them for needle minders, but I want to use that one hopefully for finishing. And so I think that would be really, really cute. And I found recently in my fabric stash some remnants of fabrics from presents I'd made for people a few years back. And I thought that one group of fabric would make some really pretty project bags. So I went looking for some Velcro to seal them up with, and I saw this. This came from Joann's. This is sew-on magnetic and snaps, and you sew one to one side of the fabric, you know, one piece, and then you sew the other to your, like your flap, and it's magnetic. But the reason I like it is I'm not just punching it into the fabric and hoping that it will stay in there. This one is actually sewn onto the fabric. So my husband even said you might want to sew it inside the fabric, just under the one layer of material, and it might still work and you couldn't see them. That's an idea. Anyway, I thought I would try these and see how I like it, and just in case it doesn't work, I have the Velcro to go as well. Put everything together so I can put it back in my box. And then the real treat that we all covet when we get presents, fabrics. I have a 28 count rusty green. It's an even weave. And then there is a 32 count, and it's called Buttersweet, and that's a very true picture of it there. So you've got this beautiful neutral green and a beautiful neutral kind of an orangey brown color. It's almost a peach color. Anyway, I have some Halloween pieces that I'm going to be doing in the next year or two, and I'm stashing up for that. So that's what my birthday present was. I was spoiled. I was really spoiled. So I just had to share my haul with you, my birthday haul, and let you see that. And then, one more thing I have to share. We all know how wonderful this lady is, but I'm going to pause and get something I got in the mail today. Okay, I'm back, and what I have to show you, you will recognize immediately. This is a Vonna project roll. Isn't that beautiful? When we were in our retreat in Sevierville, Tennessee, Marlene from Stitching by the Lake had chosen her Christmas in the Sneaky Santa exchange, and she opened it, and it was Vonna's bag that she brought to exchange, and there was a project roll in it among some other things. And Marlene stood over that bag and was guarding it when it became my turn to get a package, and I snuck behind her and I took it. Well, no bad behavior goes unpunished like that. So it wasn't long before somebody took my bag, which was originally Marlene's, and they got the project roll because it could only be taken twice. And so I was, the second one who had it. So they got to keep it. Nobody could get it. And Marlene and I were both crying. I mean, we were just, really not happy because we really both wanted it. Anyway, I guess Vonna got tickled at us, and she whispered to both of us, "I'll make you one." And I thought, sure, maybe next year after Christmas, she may have some time to do that. And that was awfully nice of her. And I really wasn't expecting it anytime soon at all. And I got a package today, and it was in there, and I love it. It's a beautiful fabric. It looks like it's got postcards, and it's just really almost Paris feeling. It's got Paris type words on it, where it's supposed to be a ledger sheet or something. Anyway, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I think maybe you can. That's kind of in the background. It's got a butterfly or a moth. And then, you know, it's just very chic and very, very muted colors, and it's just lovely. It's just very elegant. Thank you so much, Vonna. I know you have a tutorial on this, and I have been saying I was going to make me one. I even collected a tube to see if it was, you know, going to be big enough and sturdy enough. It was something I got in the mail, and I wasn't sure it was going to work yet, and I hadn't made the effort yet to make one, and so now I don't have to. Thank you. So this was a consolation prize that was awesome, but I really do thank you, Vonna. You're so kind, and so that was just another wonderful gift that came right between my birthday and Christmas, and so I'm counting it as both for me, and I just really appreciate that. So thank you for letting me share it with you. I was squealing so much when I got it. My husband came to find out what it was, and I had to open it and show him how it worked and everything, and he said, that is really nice. So I appreciate it, Vonna, very much. Well, I am going to get back to stitching. Today I am participating in a Stitchathon weekend on Cross Stitch Finish Line, and I posted a picture of my Quaker Christmas 2 where I was on it, and I'm going to be working on that this weekend and trying to get as many stitches in it as I can. I have decided that I'm going to push as hard as I can to finish the 2 pages I've been working on. I originally thought I would finish everything except the motifs that split the page, but this is so easy to follow. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So I've just decided I'm going to try really hard this weekend to finish every stitch on those 2 pages, page 1 and 2, so that I have the top 2 pages completely done by the weekend. I think that's a good goal. It's going to require me to do a bit of stitching, but I'm up for it. And my husband and I are going to a Christmas concert tonight that is being offered at the Air Force Museum at the Air Force Base where he works, and it's free to the community. And then tomorrow evening is another birthday dinner for me. My birthday is lasting for several days, and I really like that a lot. But I think that'll be the end of it, and we're going to have dinner together and then play some games, like board games, card games, just like we're still children, I guess. Try to hang on to our youth as long as we can. But in the meantime, I will be stitching. So by the end of the weekend, on Sunday night, I will be posting in Stitch Mania, and I'll put on my Instagram page as well how far I've gotten on my piece, and at least by Monday, if not late Sunday, at least by Monday I can video it for my update here, so you'll get to see it as well if you're not on Instagram. So you guys have a great weekend. I know I'm going to, and thanks for sharing in my birthday presents with me. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye-bye. Good evening, everyone. This is December the 17th, Sunday night. It's fairly late. Wanted to just do a quick video because I'm about to end a rotation on a piece, and I always like to try to share it with you as soon as I'm through stitching on it so it stays fresh, and I can share with you any particulars that I think you might find interesting. I have been participating in a Stitchathon through Cross Stitch Finish Line this weekend, and I was working on my Quaker Christmas 2. And you post a picture on Friday morning of when you're going to start, and then on Saturday you start stitching, and you stitch as many hours as you can on Saturday and Sunday, and the whole point is to count stitches. For every 500 stitches you get your name in a drawing for a gift certificate to 123 Stitch at the end of the year. I've participated in several of these throughout the year and want my name in that hat as often as possible. So I decided to do that this time as well. I did want to share with you my progress. I'll put a picture in here of where I was when I got started. And now I'll show you where I am. I finished the first 2 pages. I'm very pleased. Hope you can see that. I did everything on the first 2 pages with the exception of right in here where you see that kind of a blank spot there. That's where the word silver bells starts, and it's about half of the top of the word, and so I am gonna wait and do that back stitching all in one when I get the other pages up there. So now it's time for me to make a copy of the next 2 working pages, which will be these 2 here and here, page 3 and 4, and I will start working on that my next rotation. But I am really pleased with how quick this is stitching up. I love the fabric. I love the thread colors. I think they look stunning, very rich, and I'm really enjoying it. So I just wanted to share with you my page finishes for Quaker Christmas 2. Now, Christmas Eve is only a week from today, so I don't think I'll be touching this piece again, probably until maybe New Year's Eve, or right in, sometime next month. But if I do, I'll come back and show it to you again. But if you celebrate, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas. And if you are celebrating Hanukkah, I'd like to wish you Happy Hanukkah. And otherwise, I would like to tell everyone Happy New Year. I hope you're having a fabulous holiday season, and I'll talk to you soon. In the meantime, happy stitching, everyone. Bye. Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, December the 19th, and I'm up very early in the morning because I'm packing, getting ready to go on a little overnight trip. Our son has an interview, and so I'm going to take that as an opportunity to go and check on our home and, say hey to the neighbors and just, kind of chat with him on the way up and try to help calm nerves, that kind of thing. The interview's in the morning, and so I thought, well, I better change out my WIP and take something that'll travel well, because the WIP I've been working on is one of my new Christmas starts, and it's on white fabric. So I don't want to take that in the car or, to the house there where I don't have really a good stitching setup yet, and I stitch at the kitchen table, and I don't want to get white fabric on all that and maybe pick up a piece of food or something. It just gives me nightmares. So anyway, I want to show you how far I've gotten this time working on this piece for a couple of days, and tell you about my plans as far as what I'm going to work on next. This piece is my Glendon Place Flowers of the Holy Night, and the designer is Cheryl Granda. And this is color chart number GP237 if you're interested. I just love this piece. I think if you'll look at the variegation of the silks in here in particular, you can see them. But I'll show you, you can really tell in some of these pieces as well. I'm just really thrilled with how this is coming out. So when I first started, I started these 2, and they are leaves. I found that out from one of my viewers, that she was kind enough to let me know that on poinsettias, what I was correcting myself originally, I called them leaves, and then I corrected myself and said they were petals. They're actually leaves. The flower itself are these little yellow pieces, according to her. So I learned something new. Thought I'd share that with you. So these first 2 red leaves I worked on when I first started it, and that was my start. So that's how far I got. So now I'm going to show you what I've done in the last couple of days that I've worked on this piece. So I had these 2 leaves, the red leaves, done. So now I've completed a green leaf, and I've started the small poinsettia at the top, and I've got 2 of the red leaves done there, and these little green offshoots here. I think they're supposed to be leaves as well. You can see how beautifully these silks are variegated. Right in here in particular, you can see it. And in these greens, you can really see it here and here. I'm enjoying it so much. It is stitching up very easily. Silks are a pleasure to work with, as you know, if you've ever used them. They're so soft to the touch. And there's only 9 colors in this piece. So if you're going to use silks, it's not one that you know, couldn't eventually kit up if you bought 1 or 2 at a time. But there are 9 colors, and they're all shades of red or pinkish red and greens. They're not Christmassy greens. They're more of a blue-green, except for this one. But aren't these pretty colors? There's a darker red, and then you get into the rosier reds, and then the pinks. And you can see all the variegation in here. Isn't that amazing? Just so pretty. So that's why this is turning out so nice, I think. It's the threads and the design, of course. So I'm enjoying that. But since we're going to be traveling, I felt like the next thing I should start working on would be to go back to my Mill Hill kit, the Jim Shore designed snowman. And I'll be taking that with me today when we leave. And I'll be working on that today and potentially tonight and tomorrow, depending on how much time I have when we get there. Wish us well. Send positive thoughts for my son. Of course, by the time you see this, the interview will be over. Hopefully, we'll know some results. We don't know how quickly they'll tell you anything. But that's what's on our plate today. So I'm going to be getting ready here in a few minutes and packing up my to-go bag. And we'll be heading out of town. So hopefully all of you are doing well. Hopefully you're stitching, at least getting a little stitching in. I know this is a holiday season and it's tough to get everything done, and we're getting down to the wire. So Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy Hanukkah and Happy New Year if I don't see you again before Christmas. But I hope to, and hope to get to touch base with you another time. So enjoy your week, and I hope that you will take some time to enjoy the season, to relax just a little bit, and I wish you all the best. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye. Good morning, everyone. This is December the 23rd, and I'm getting out my Christmas linens. I've got to iron them, get them ready for my Christmas luncheon with my family on Christmas Day. And I just wanted to share this piece with you. If you've been watching me for a while, you may have seen it before. It's a little table runner. I got it at Michael's years ago. I don't even think they have these anymore. And I have a beautiful book of Christmas patterns that I got this one out of. I actually used the same book to make all the Christmas tree ornaments for my sister Stephanie last year, where I did one to represent each member of her family. But this is the centerpiece that goes on my table for our Christmas dinner. And it says, "Remember the reason for the season." And there's little Mary and Joseph and the lamb there by the manger. And then on each end, where there's another little pretty piece, you can see I have a little Christmas tree from that pattern. So a little bit of stitching, not a lot, but just something pretty to show that it's a Christmas table topper. It goes in the middle of our dining room table. I try not to put food on it. And many times I've actually been known to take it up as we start serving, putting all the food on the table, but it sits there to set the tone. Then I want to show you a couple of other things that I have stitched I'll have to iron all these wrinkles back out. But I have placemats. I think I've shown these before as well, but it's time that I bring them back out for the season. This is the violin. These are the two horns with the pretty blue bow. I think they're just beautiful pieces. This is the drum set. I love these two with blue in them. They just pop so beautifully. And then this one, I believe is a mandolin. But I stitched these many years ago. It took me more than 1 year to complete them all. I did 1 or 2 a year till I finished them up. This was when I was working and I had very little time to stitch. But I just wanted to show you the 4 placemats that I had stitched for Christmas. They set a lovely table, and I usually put my Christmas china on them and leave them set up during the holiday season. I haven't gotten them out this year to put the china on them because the china is packed up to move. So we won't be using these this year, but since they were all together, I wanted to show them to you. Now, I have one more thing I want to show, and it isn't cross-stitched, but it is cute. This is back when I was quilting, and I made these placemats. I made 3 of them, just alike, for me, my husband, and my son when he was a little boy. I've had these placemats for at least 20 years or more. As you can see, there's some staining on them now. You can wash them, and I will wash them this season again. But the little mittens have one little opening each, and that's where you put a fork and a knife for your little one. The rick-rack are to make the little eyes, and of course they fray. Might need to trim them this year. And I always have to check and see if the little hat ball there on the end is still good. And see, there's another stain there I need to try to get out. But, you know, for 20 years old, I'd say they're looking pretty good. I did all of this applique work on a sewing machine at the time. So I just thought I would share that with you. It's very old, but very sweet memories with it. And I thought I would share it with you today. Hi everyone, good afternoon. It is Saturday, December 23rd, and I am here to tell you a little bit about my 2018 plans. I am going to continue working on my 3 carryover WIPs that were part of my year of WIP, and you know what they are: Firefly Fairies, Sleeping Beauty, and the Nativity. And the way I'm going to work on them is a little different this year. I am going to have a focus on a different one each month. So for January, I've already put it on my calendar. I have Firefly Fairies as the one of those 3 that I want to focus on. So I will do at least 3 to 5 days of Firefly Fairy stitching in the month of January. Then in the month of February, I will do the same thing for Sleeping Beauty, and I will pick her up and do what I'm essentially calling a double rotation, whether I do it all at once or I do it split to give myself a break from one of those more difficult patterns. Then either way will be fine, and I will be putting it on my calendar to work on them until I hit that many days. And then I'll switch out in March and look at the Nativity and work on it in the same fashion. I may still work on those other big pieces, at least a normal rotation that month. But I definitely want to give extra time to each one of them in a rotating basis. So I have a rotation of those 3 projects that's separate from my normal rotation, if that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking. Then I'll let you know that another thing I've done is I've gone through Stitch Mania and Cross Stitch Finish Line and Little House Needleworks Facebook groups, and I've looked at sales in those groups, and I have penciled in all of the sales that I think I want to participate in the coming year. Now, I will reevaluate that about every 3 months because new things get added. I get new projects, and I may have a project that meets a sale that I didn't have before. And that's kind of how I pick my sales. If I have a piece I'm working on that will meet what that sale is doing, or if I have a new start I want to do, and that's my good excuse to get it started, I pick that sale. Once I fill in all those sales on my calendar for the year, then I can come back and attach to each sale which one of my WIPs I'm going to use for that sale. And then I've got a good idea which ones I will automatically be stitching on that month because it's for the sale. The days that are left, I divide up between my other WIPs, and I do a rotation, whether it be 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. It's however much time I have that I can divide among the other pieces. And that's kind of how I do my schedule. It doesn't matter if I decide I want to swap out and I've got, one written in for today, and I get up and I really don't want to do that one, then I just flip it on my calendar with another one, and I just go with the one I want to do. But having them all have a time slot lets me make sure that I touch them all. And that's my goal. That's why I like to keep my WIP number low. I am doing something unique. The first week of January, I'm participating in 2 sales, and one of them is a Halloween all year sale, which I've never done. And there's also a New Year, New Start sale. So I combine the two. I'm going to do one piece, one project that will meet the criteria for both of those. And for that, I'm going to do a piece called Halloween Tricks. Isn't that precious? It is a Saturday Evening Post cover from 1935. Look at those faces on those little boys. They look scared to death. I just love it. Anyway, I'm going to do this one. And so I'll be starting this the first week of January for that sale. And I have been kitting it up today, getting it ready. So let me share with you what I've chosen to do. This is a 28 count Joblin. It is a light buttersweet. And I think you'll be able to see what it looks like. It's almost a peach color. But that's going to give me the orangey background that I wanted. It's quite mottled. It ought to look a bit cloudy and mysterious in the background. I've counted out my start. That's my upper corner there. The piece is longer than it needs to be, but I bought the piece that would give me the width I wanted, and I just bought the length that came with it. So I'll have some, probably a scrap of that left, and I'll be able to do some Halloween ornaments or something on it later. So I'll enjoy that. But I've got my pattern, I've got my fabric, and this morning I pulled the threads. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the first. It may be busy. I may only get to put a few stitches in, but I'm ready for it, and that will help me meet 2 sales the first week of January. And it'll give me my first Halloween piece to work on for the Halloween all year sale. Okay, the other new start that I want to do is also for a sale, and you will recognize it. It is on Cross Stitch Finish Line. They call it a serial sale, and it's for anything that's in a series. And then Vonna is hosting a sale as well in the Facebook group for the Little House Needleworks, Country Cottage Needleworks. And it's to do any piece that's from either one of those the first week of the month. And so I will be starting the Sweet Shop, which is my next piece in the series for the hometown holidays. And so I'll be working on that. And I'll start that in the first week as well. And the fabric that I'm going to be using is on the fabric that I've been using. It's Autumn Fields. I've done the first 2 pieces. I've done the Tree Lot and the Florist. So now I'm going to drop down to this side of the bottom of the fabric, and I'll do the next 2 pieces. The Sweet Shop will be the first of those 2. And then I'll go to a different piece of fabric that will be complementary to this in my stash, and I will work on it again. So that's my 2 new starts that will be happening at the first of the year. I'm hoping to get both of them started within that first week. And then, of course, I will stitch on the Little House Needlework piece if it goes the way I've been doing it until it's finished. Most of them are taking me anywhere from 5 to 6, 7 days to finish them up, depending on how detailed they are. So I give that first week to that project, and it's a new start and a finish within the first week. And that's important to me because with these 2 starts, I'll move up to 8 WIPs. Because in the month of December, I started the Flowers of the Holy Night, and that was a new start for me. And that brought me, you know, my WIPs up a little bit. And so with everything I have pending, everything I have working on, I will have 10 in January. So don't fear, I am still going to be working on Nantucket Rose and Ashley's Roses, and we'll still be working on the Quaker Christmas 2 that I had started and had been working on it. So I also have Into the Autumn Sky that I've been working on. So I have a lot that I'll be able to do, and it'll be, I hope, an interesting and fun time for you as I show you updates on it. I know it'll be fun for me. I love each and every piece I'm working on, and so it makes it pleasurable for me. But those are my plans for 2018. I want to knock out those 3 pieces I've been working on for a couple of years, get them off my plate, enjoy all the new things I've started over Christmas. And who knows what I might be adding in, you know, once I get these finishes, what I might could do as far as the next piece that I would start. So I hope you all are having a fabulous time. It's crunch time now if you're not finished with anything you need to do for your holidays. Today's about it. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season. I know I am. And I just wish you well. And I wish you happy stitching. Bye. Hello everyone. Today is Tuesday, December 26th. Happy first day after Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful day. I know I did. The best gift of all was that I had the entire day with my son and husband. It was wonderful. Our son was actually off on that holiday, so that made it very nice. So we did something that we normally do. We woke up, we got a biscuit or so for breakfast, and began opening our Christmas presents. So I wanted to share with you the stitchy things that my husband and my son gave to me. I was so spoiled. First, my husband had asked me what I didn't get for my birthday that I really wanted, and I mentioned that I was collecting these hometown holidays because I'm going to be stitching them in a series with Vonna starting January the 1st and everyone else that's joined the group. And I'm also working on it for the cross stitch finish line sal, that's serial sal, you know, where they you have a series and you stitch one the first week of the month. It coordinates beautifully. It's the same time of the month. So I'll count it for both of them. But this is the Carolers, and Caroling Quartet is the actual name of it, Caroling Quartet. And I had just wanted it to go with my hometown holiday series. So my husband got that for me. I thought that was very nice of him. Then I have been eyeing this chart for a while, and I may have already indicated to you that I wanted to stitch it, but I wanted to do it in a long bell pull like this, and I did not have enough fabric to do that. I wanted it on 28 count because I wanted all the detail to show. And I'm sorry, my camera's cattywampus. That's a little better. So my husband bought me the fabric. This is a 28 count. It's a Joblin, and it's a light gray. Very neutral. I think that gives you about the right color of it. And I think it's going to look really, really well. This appears to be stitched on a light gray. I know you can't tell from there, but when I look at it, that's what it looks like to me. And that way the whites and the off-whites just, they pop. They look very nice. Okay, I'll move that over here because I want to show you something else. My son decided he would get me a few kits. So he did. This is the first one. This is Designworks, and it's called Handcrafted, or at least that's what it looks like. Designworks number 2731. And I'll try to, there we go. Try to get it where you can see it. This is an alphabet, but every picture that goes with each letter is something to do with stitching, sewing, quilting, knitting, all of the needle crafts that we love to do. I thought that was wonderful. It's already sorted. The floss is already sorted, so that's pretty exciting. Then there's another Designworks kit that he got me. I have eyeballed this several times myself. He did not know this. But this is a Jim Shore. It's a Designworks kit, but it's a Jim Shore design. And it's, of course, the Santa Claus. And inside his cloak are all the emblems for the 12 Days of Christmas. So cute. And this is also sorted and has beads. Then this one was my favorite, and I think I have seen this one completed by someone already on FlossTube, but this is a gold collection by Dimensions, and this is entitled Santa's Midnight Ride, and it is on a navy blue fabric, Ada in here. And it's a good thing I'm practicing on that midnight blue or royal blue fabric that is a Jim Shore pattern on my Mill Hill kit right now, so that I can hopefully learn how to do that. So, as I said, I was spoiled. That was awesome for me. It was a lovely, lovely Christmas. So, as I promised, I wanted to come back and give you sort of a wrap-up for the year, and tell you a little bit about how I see myself stitching last year, and I'll try to give some good statistics, nothing like what Brian does, but Brian, I hope I'll make you a bit proud today when I share a little bit with you. But I wanted to know for myself, how did my stitching change from the previous year when I was really starting to track it for the first time? And did I stick to my goals? And, you know, do I still feel the same way about what I want to do next year? So let me just share a little bit with you. I have some notes, so bear with me if I look down a little bit to look at them. But to look at the year in review, I can tell you that this year was very, very different from last year in a couple of ways. In one way, I had some similarities, but for the most part, very different. So why don't we start with what was the same. Last year, I participated in 52 stitch-alongs. Now remember, I participate in stitch-alongs if I have a WIP that's gonna, meet the purpose of the SAL, or if I have a new start that I want to do anyway. I don't just start something to go along in a SAL. It has to be something I want to already do. And that it's just me, because I would get overwhelmed because I'm not a process stitcher. I want to finish everything I start. And if I start way too many things at one time, I can't finish anything. And then I start getting a little nervous and frustrated. Well, I looked back at 2016 and I had participated in 50 sales. So I squeezed in 2 extra sales this year. I think that's going to stay fairly stable because I probably will wind up participating in roughly the same, if not similar, sales as I go, because that's just what I have in my WIPS and that's what fits. Now, here's where it gets, well, there's one more similarity. I had 34 finishes this year and I had 30 last year. So I eked out 4 more finishes this year, probably because I did ornaments twice in the year. But let's talk about what is a little different. What made this year unique? Last year, I called myself a gift stitcher when I introduced myself, and true to form, last year, I did stitch a lot of gifts, and I'll tell you how I can prove that. I had 30 finishes last year, and of those 30, 27 of them were gifts. I only kept 3 things. For the whole year, I only kept 3 things that I stitched. Now in 2017, I finished 34 pieces and I gifted 8 of them. Only 8, 24% of them. So that is a huge shift. And if you'll recall, if you've watched my channel for very long, I said this year I needed to stitch some things for my home, that I wanted to transition from being all gifts to just a few gifts, but mostly for my home, to decorate my home with my stitching, because I hadn't done that yet. So I would say I met that goal. That was the overall goal that I had for the year, and I met it. The other big goal I had for the year was that I wanted to finish Smoky Mountain Christmas, and I did that too. So I did really well with my goals. So what else can I tell you about my stitching? Last year, I stitched different patterns and different projects, but it represented 13 different designers. This year, thanks to Floss 2, I stitched from 19 different designers. So there were multiple patterns that I stitched from a particular designer or other, but I still had 19 different designers' work that I completed in the last year. So I was really proud about that. I've broadened my horizons thanks to you guys. I've discovered some new people, you know. I think that's awesome. I had an average last year of 8 WIPs. I have 8 WIPs right now, and at the first of the year, I plan on starting 2 new starts to be stitched on throughout the year, and that'll bring me to 10, but very quickly, I think I'll pare that back down to 8 because a couple of them are not as large. So as I finish those smaller pieces, then I'll go back to 8. So I think that's pretty much it. 30 finishes last year, 34 this year. Biggest difference was the amount of those finishes that I was able to put up in my home, on my Christmas tree or on my 4th of July tree. Last year I did 4th of July ornaments. This year I did Christmas ornaments. So last year I did 6 4th of July ornaments, I think, and this year I did 10 Christmas ornaments. So that's probably the biggest change. Last year, I filmed 28 episodes for my YouTube channel, and thank you all so much for watching. This year, I've filmed 25. I'm actually on episode number, this will be 53 when you see this one, I believe. So, marching right along, enjoying it very much, enjoying what I'm doing, and have been, obviously, all throughout the year. So, My plans are still what I've been thinking I was going to do. I'm going to focus on my 3 carryover year of WIPS as my big pieces. I'm going to rotate through them. I've got a lot of beautiful Christmas stitching to work on, at least 1 or 2 rotations a month on 1 or 2 of those pieces. And so you'll get to see some Christmas all throughout the year. But I'm just looking forward to having a fabulous year of stitching. I have so many things I want to do. And I really need to get some of these big projects off my table so that I can do 1 or 2 big projects a year and a lot of small things that I might want to work on. Anyway, I think that's about everything. I do want to give a shout out though to Olivia B and Elena B. Thank you so much for your Christmas card. I loved it. It was great. I've had it in my sewing room the entire Christmas season. Thank you for including me in your Stitchy Christmas. It was so much fun. I appreciate you thinking of me. And to everyone else, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you've had a good year. I hope when you look back at what you've accomplished, that you realize you've accomplished a lot. You forget as you're going through the year what all you've done, and looking back is great fun. So I hope that goes well for you. And now I have a big announcement. I checked today because I got 2 or 3 subscribers right in a row. And I thought, oh, how wonderful. I don't know if somebody gave me a shout out recently. I'm going to have to find out. But I had cause to make me wonder how many subscribers I was up to. And so I went and checked. And as of this morning, I was at 2,504. So I have hit the 2,500 mark. And I like to do something to thank you guys every time I go up about 500. So it doesn't, take so long to get there, because it takes a while, to get numbers of people who might want to check out your channel and then decide to stay. So I appreciate each and every one of you. So I think what I'm going to do is go through my stash and go through some ideas that I've been kind of playing around with in my head of what might be fun to do as a giveaway. And I will be announcing what we're going to do to celebrate 2,500 subscribers on my first video in January. I think it would be great to start the first of the year off with a giveaway to celebrate, the fact that we have a community and that you guys have been so gracious to me by subscribing to my channel. So I thank you very much for doing that. I enjoy talking with you and stitching with you and spending time with you, and I love watching your videos too. So it means a lot to me that you take the time to watch mine. So Happy New Year to you. I hope you have the remaining of your holidays as a joyful and safe time. And I'll look forward to my first video of 2018, where I will be announcing the giveaway, what we're going to do for it for 2,500 subscribers. You guys, thank you so much for a lovely year. It has been so much fun. I have met several people in person this year, and I will tell you that has been the highlight of my year. We have wonderful people in our community, and when you get to meet them in person, it's even better. You feel like you truly know each other. So I want to thank you all for that have had the opportunity to and have been gracious enough to meet me and share some time with me. So I again, thank you for your friendship and your support, and I will see you next year. Happy stitching. Bye. Hello, hi everyone, it's Dina. I'm back again on Wednesday, December the 27th. I just had a quick little video I wanted to add on to this update, because looking at my 2018 plans, looking ahead in my planner, I have several stitch-alongs for the first week of January. And so in trying to stagger out those times and make sure I have time to work a little bit on each one, I realized that for the stitch along that Vonna's hosting for the LHN C Country Needleworks Sal's, that it can be a new start or a WIP. And since my other Sal's, a couple of them that I'm working on, require new starts, then I'm going to use a different piece for that I haven't even begun anything on, which is my Halloween tricks. So I thought, well, I can go ahead and get started on my LHN piece, which is the next building or design that I want to stitch out of the Hometown Holiday series. So I decided to go ahead and get started on it. It is a Christmas piece, and this is December, all Christmas stitching. So it just fit all the way around. And I wanted to go ahead and get a little bit of a start on this one. So I'll be working on it as a WIP in that first week of January instead of a new start. And that way I only have one new start that I have to get in that first week. So this is the one I chose to do. I think I had told you I was going to work on the Sweet Shop next. So this is the Sweet Shop. And that's what I wanted to get my start on. So I've been working on it a little bit yesterday and a little bit today. So here's where I've gotten so far. And I've almost gotten the house finished. I've still got the door to do. And then I can also do the window, which is mainly inside the shop. And then of course I've got a motif on either side here to do. But I think that's a pretty decent start. It'll give me a vantage point from which to start my stitching on the first, or that first week. And so I'm excited about that. I think I'll be able to participate, and I'll have a little bit of a head start for myself so that I won't feel quite so overwhelmed with so much right there at the first of the month. So that was about it. Just wanted to share that with you. Since I actually started it in December, I have to go back and change all of my December stats. Actually only add a new start in there, really, because it won't be a finish in December. I won't work on it again until January. So just wanted to keep you posted on what I was doing and how things were going. I will probably end the video here because I have to start packing. We're moving, and we're moving quickly. So my stitchy time will be very tight for the next few weeks, and I still want to do my stitch-alongs that I've signed up for, so that may be all I get to do. So I don't know at what time in January I'll get to video or talk to you again, but it'll be soon. It won't be past the end of the month because I want to do my 2,500 subscriber giveaway, and I also want to celebrate the fact that it will be my anniversary, my floss tube anniversary. So I'm excited about that, and we'll talk more about that in January, but that's January 23rd. Well, you guys have a great rest of your week. This is hump day, as they say. Middle of the week. We're heading down now after today, heading toward the weekend. So I hope you have a wonderful time and hope you get a lot of stitching done. And I look forward to seeing you next time in the new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy stitching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.